Bonjour tout le monde, c'est moi, Madame. Today we're going to be talking about using formal and informal language. Bonjour. So we need to know how to talk to different people, whether they're older than us or younger than us. Are we related to them? Have we ever met them before? So here is a brief lesson on how we're going to use formal and informal language. So first of all, how do you know which language to use? So if you call them Mr. or Mrs., you're going to have to use formal. If it's an adult you don't know very well or at all, you need to use formal. If the people are your own age, you can use informal. If they're family members, you probably have special names for them. You don't have to call them Mr. or Mrs. So those would be informal as well. If you're ever in doubt if you should use formal or informal language with someone, you should start out formal, and then as you get to know them, the conversation will change. They may even start using informal with you and let you know that the conversation's okay to switch to informal. So if you see the word vous, that indicates that we're talking about formal or plural. So if it's one person who's doing the talking to you or you're needing to talk to one person formally, you would use vous. It also covers all the plural numbers of people. If you see the word tu or toi in the question, that means that the conversation is going to be informal with only one person. So this is not something that you can actually use with your boss, your teachers, your principal, the president, world leaders, people that you meet at the grocery store, or people with whom you are having like financial transactions or store transactions or whatever. You try and be more formal. Okay, so we're going to try that out. I'm going to list some people and I'm going to have some phrases up on the board for you. So I want you to decide, would you use formal or informal language based on the phrases that are up there? Okay, so saying hello. So first of all, we have the phrase bonjour, which can be used with anybody. And then we have salut, which is the informal one. So for our intents and purposes, to practice bonjour and salut, we're going to pretend like bonjour is just going to be for adults, okay? Salut would be for your friends, okay? So let's practice a few. What if you are trying to say hello to your teacher? Which one would you use, bonjour or salut? Should probably use bonjour. How about your best friend? That would be salut. And what about your grandma? You could use salut with your grandma. You're probably pretty informal with your grandma. If your grandma is someone that you are normally a little more formal with, you can use bonjour. But remember, bonjour can be used with anyone, just trying to practice formal and informal, okay? Okay, so you know that you can use ça va with informal language. You want to ask how people are doing, okay? So who could you use ça va with? You can say ça va, the question, to your classmates. You can say it to your family members, your siblings. You can use it with people younger than you, okay? People that you would speak informally with, anybody that you would call by their first name. If you have people that you don't call by their first name, we can't use any of these. We can't use ça va or any of those ça va answers, okay? And they probably wouldn't use them with you. Here's what they'd use instead. Instead of ça va, which is more like sup, you would probably say comment allez-vous? You could also use comment vas-tu if you're wanting to ask more of a how are you to your friend and not just a what's up, okay? So any of those questions could get these. And what you'll notice is, let's take a look. Ça va très bien? Or you could say très bien. Now, this can be used with family members as well, but just remember anything with ça va in it, we should not use with anyone that we call by Mr. or Mrs. or some kind of a special title. You can't use their first name. You can't use ça va. Okay, well, we also learned et toi and et vous as the question word and you. So if someone asks you how you're doing, you answer for yourself. Now it's time to ask them the question. You can use those questions that we had before, like comment allez-vous or ça va. But what if you just want to say, how about you? And just get an answer from them. You can use et toi or you can use et vous. So let's practice a few of these. So let's say the principal comes in and asks how you're doing in French. It could happen. So you answer for yourself and you say très bien. Would you say et toi or et vous? You would use a vous. Good. And what if the guy with the locker next to you comes in and says, how are you doing? You would say, très bien. Et toi? This is someone that you would probably call by his first name. How about your bus driver? You get on the bus to come to school in the morning. Bus driver asks how you're doing, and you say, très bien. What comes next? That would be a vous, because that is an adult person with whom you should treat respect. All right, so now it's time to end our slideshow. Au revoir or salut? Which one would you say? Remember, like bonjour, au revoir can be used with anyone, and then salut would only be used with your friends, just like whenever you say hello to people. So I will say to you, au revoir.